Testing. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Let's take a look at the charts where we're at and how everything works. About 10 more minutes before we actually have full open. I'm gonna get myself a drink before I'm starting. I'll let everybody join and we go over what I see in the market. Okay, got myself a drink. So, first of all, let's go over what we have. We have rather big open. That's a 180 point move up. Oh, yeah, I'll take this off. So we go to previous day. Let's take the highs and the lows of previous day so we can know what we had it to. We did have it. Look, yesterday we had an unfungled candle. So it looks like the market is starting to move back up. That's a great thing to see. We already took previous day high, previous day low. Now, if this was a full candle, I would have said we are moving further up. Now, this is an opening candle, so we are tend to filter this full gap open. We tend to fill it up. And if we want to fill this up, we need to close it almost to the buy. That's the only thing I'm not really liking about this. But looks like the market wants to go up. So if we find an entry, we're probably long off of it. We're gonna long off of it. So we made movement down. We came back to that 6-2 level. Let's see what open brings. If we see a long position, I'm gonna take it at least to structures high again. Have filled this up as good as completely. There is still an opening, a little bit of open gap. 69 points left. I believe open will show us what it will do. Will it take out Asia high, Asia low first of all one more time, and then fill up this gap? And in the next 8 to 12 minutes, we will see what happens. Or does it want to take out Asia high? Those are the two major liquidities right now. So we have Asia high. And Asia low. I've seen that daylight saving is already up on in New York session. Because I've seen yesterday that everybody was trading at 2:30 instead of 3:30. So if you trade New York session, it's an hour differently already. Day savings is already on. So yesterday we took an R loss, shared in Discord. So I'm up 7.8 R instead of 8.8 R on the month. Let's take our journal. Let's see. Yeah, -1 yesterday. It took a very long time to actually see the market move anywhere. So I'm up 7.8 and a 57% win rate. That's on average. Pretty normal. So definitely want to see what open brings. Do we fill up this gap and come back to this lower part to long off of it, or do we immediately go back up? Interesting part where we at. If this was a full candle, this was a break of structure or a change in character actually to the upside. Because this is a 4-hour candle. We made a move. If this was a full candle, say that this was a body, that this was here, actually, this was a new change in character to the upside. So we should have a retest of this. And then we could say that the market is coming potentially back at least to fair value of price and then continuing. So we'll see what happens at open. Believe longs are more in potential right now than shorts because we just shifted, but does not mean that we cannot take a short, of course. Let's see in a few minutes if we can't find anything we can trade off. So we're still trading in an upwards for value gap right now. So what do we see? We had a shift down. We have a retest off of this. We came back. We came into a 5 minute for value gap right now. And actually, we tapping it with sweep liquidity. We didn't take the low yet, so we're still in it. So we're still going off long right now. So if we see a shift, so we take out that 3 minute candles high with a wick, I would love to long this. We do need to have that shift, of course. So once we take that low, that idea is fully off the bar, is fully off, because then we took now actually the low, where this for valid gap should not get invalid, and this low should not get taken. I'm just going to be a bit more patient today, see what the market actually shows. But I believe upside is more accurate than downside movement. The only thing is that we still have this gap, this opening gap that could get filled up before continuing the upwards movement. Morning, Dr. Who. Morning, Arjun. How you been? I'm gonna take a half hour risk right here. Yeah, I'm gonna jump in along. Stops at Asia low, aiming for the highs. If I get stopped, it's a half hour risk. If we see a continuing shift, we'll continue adding to that trade. Want to see it get actually to Asia high. So I'm in along. If I'm incorrect and we move further down, that will be our stop, of course. What this looks like, a very great area that the market could continue up, or it will just shift immediately to that 50 level. But this is that area that it has to choose where it wants to go. Happy to see that. Again, half our risk, no more. Soon in the day. My entry is at 24,769. 24,076. Oh, exactly on where I put it. I want to see. That would be TP1. TP2 would be full. That's a 2.6. Definitely a good trade. And we will see if that shift continues to move upwards, if we can add to that trade, yes or no. I did not take a look yet if we had. Forex. Do we have news? Better take a look before I actually do anything. No, so we did not have news today, so it's a good day. Okay, full TP would be the highs. I believe this structure's high would be first target, so I will take, if I have an optional, to take a partial. Stops will go at break even once we hit this. So if we hit that high, stops to BE or take a partial. It's up to you. That is on 24,816. Well, very clear near to Asia low, so we could just get a sweep from Asia low and get stopped. Just be okay with it. This was a very good setup, definitely possible. We came back after a retest, fully clear. The only thing I didn't like about this trade is that we still have like an opening gap left open. That's all. But like on top step and anything else, you cannot see it. It's just like one chart. That's why I took a half hour, because this gap below it. Okay, that's a strong push down, what I don't like. We will see what happens. Just let this trade do its thing. I do want to see a rather quick push now, because this is getting choppy now. I don't like this area. I want to see continuation. So if we should have dropped, we probably would have done it already too. So this is also telling me this is a lot of volume is holding this little small 5 minute right here. There's a lot of potential and buying pressure in this little 5 minute candle gap. So why? Because we didn't sweep the low yet, and we are hanging around here for a while now. Yeah, okay, a while, like 15, 20 minutes. There was a lot of down strength into it. We should have pushed straight through it, and we didn't. The market does not have it easy to decide which side it wants to take right now. But this is actually a trade that I would love to take every day. So we didn't came back to that 7-8 level right here. And what did we do? We had a shift from a 5 to 15-minute shift to the upside. We created a fair value gap inside. So we also had a 15-minute fair value gap right here. So would love to take that any day. Stops could be this low. I take Asia low because it has a little bit more room than left. You could have just taken this low too. It swept already the liquidity. So if this fair value gap does not hold and we flush down, that means that my idea that the market right here went up is incorrect. But I see it actually wanted to get to this high, at least. So this is why I wanted to put stops at break even once we reach that level, and then continue it at least to these highs. To 24,848 should be possible. But if London says I want to sweep Asia and take that liquidity with us before continuing, that's possible too. And then we are not on the right side. That's why I took a half hour. It was a bit early without seeing what the market actually wanted to do. So just be patient. Morning, Philip. So anybody in here that still has the habit of not taking trades seriously and uh, not being able to stop trading, make sure that you set out those limits for yourself, that you cannot trade more than 2 or 3 times a day. This way, it locks out your account and you're not able to do anything anymore. Take a walk for that day. We're here to make money, not to please our ego and trade. If you want to play games, go play a game instead. It's easier. It's simple rules, but they will help you maintain a steady and healthy mindset in trading. So back to entry, still looking good. Nothing's changed. Just let this do its thing. Thank you for letting me know, Arjun. So this is the last thing I want to see, and I want to see them move the market back up. If not, that will be our stop. Here's the last part I want to see it move to. If this comes to our stop, this can definitely close that full gap. So If I see this move and come above our entry again, I'm gonna put my stop. I'm not gonna move my stop. I'm even gonna add one more because then we swept everything. We should fall immediately right here, or actually, this looks great that it will continue. I'm gonna get myself a drink. This can take a while before this trade actually plays out. Always have confidence in your own system. So if I want to add to this trade, what am I looking for? So I'm gonna give you guys all some new information. Some of you already know it, that are in my group and took my boot camp and my trading courses with me live. I'm looking now for an extra for value gap that shows me to get to an entry. So I want to actually want to have a 5 minute for value gap somewhere laying inside that can give me that entry. So I want to see a shift, go above it, have a tap off of it, and then continue. Once I see a potential to take an extra entry, I'll definitely let you guys know. Until that happens, just be patient. I do want to see the market continue to the upside right now in the next minute and a half. So we're now actually at a 50-minute structures high. So this is the movement. This is that test of that movement. So once we get to this level, this is actually TP1. And for people that want to see if I still trade live, yes, I do. Look, this is what I'm at. I know most of you guys already know that I still trade live, but for people that don't see it because it's just a trading view chart, so this would look nicely now. What do we have? 5 minutes. If we now get this 5 minute fair value gap created inside of it, we can tap that. Once we have that shift back to the upside, I want to add to this trade in this 5 minute fair value gap. So this, if this stays a fair value gap, of course, it does need to stay one. So I just put it on the chart, but this is not yet a fair value gap because we need a we need a candle close of 5 minutes left. But again, look how this actually shows you what the market wants to head to. So we had a strong push up, nice candle. We came into that 15-minute fair value gap. We never took that low, and we are still trading inside that 15-minute fair value gap. We took it as low as we could, and I put it my stop at HL low. The reason why I put it at HL low and not that low is for spread for myself. Because if you took this HL low and you are trading live account, this could have stopped you out. This not. It's long enough. This is 12-point spread, not always get taken out. And this is a very nice 15-minute enfungled candle after a sweep, taking liquidity, so we should continue. So if this comes back to my entry, that does not look good. Just telling. I'm not gonna micromanage this. It's only half our entry right now, so I'm just gonna let this do its thing. If you want to be in a full secure trade, you can put your stop at break even here because we swept, so we came to that high, and we should continue right now. So if you want to be a risk-free trade, you can put a stop at break even. But I also have to mention that there is a possibility that it comes one more time back, tap you out, and then continues to that movement. It's up to you what you do. If you want to be a little bit more the one that puts your stops faster to break even, this is the area where you should do it. But like I mentioned, you can get stopped out, of course. My entry 24,769. And we do not have that 5 minutes yet. Now let the market just do its thing. Be looking a bit more at the chat. If anybody has a question, just ask. And if you know any friends or family that wants to learn trading, share my channel. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that too. It helps the channel grow a bit more. Because it's not easy out here with all those set belief gurus out there that can trade every day and make so much money. It makes it not easy for us, the people that actually do trade, to get found outside, and the people still believe in it. That's the other part. How's Or been recently, Arjun? I'm not sure that I mentioned it already, but we have daylight saving at a different time right now. If you put your stop to break even, that would have been your stop, or as good as your stop. It depends on where you entered it. Now we did create an, I'm gonna add a full R for this one. Again, I'm adding one more to this. It's a full R now. And if it now comes down and stops me out, I'm okay with it. I had the patience. I saw a shift again. So we had a 15-minute shift. We didn't have a 15-minute for value gap created, not, but we did have a 5 minutes. We came into it. So this is as good for me as a 15 minutes. And now I want to see it move away. In the next, we could come all the way back down to this level even, to 24,762, because we have a small void and they tend to fill these up. So we could come back to that level and then continue up. But the market has been choppy yesterday too. So I do want to see a clear movement, because it took it till around 11. So we were constantly in profit, not in profit when we were in this trade yesterday. And the market started rallying exactly when I got off, or around when I got off. I shared in Discord that I got -1. I was not micromanaging anything. But now I do want to see that shift back to the upside. We got 7 more minutes. And every trade we take, it's always only X amount of chance that we actually have a good trade. So always be okay with it. It's just a trade. Tomorrow is another day. But I believe that we were gonna move up right here. So if now it falls down, that would be unexpected for myself, but still possible. So we're now coming back down into that void that I shown right here that we have. So from here off, we should shift back to the upside. And you will see, look, this is that 5-minute void that we had. It tends to take out most of it immediately and then move back out of that direction. So in the next 30 seconds, I do want to see us get back around our entry. And then we see that continuation movement. But try not to watch your P&L too much when you're in a trade. Try to watch just like my screen. where it's nothing onto it. This is why I do this. It's psychology methods. So why do I use trading view as my watching view? Is because there are no numbers on it. If you watch your P&L constantly, it's like watching your bank account go up and down constantly. Nobody does it. By the end of the month, it gets filled, and in the month itself, you use your bank card to buy everything. So you go to a shop, you buy something, you see something go off. Do you watch your bank account then also when it drops and goes up? Of course not. So just be okay with it and don't watch it. Close that book of your trading view or anything else or anything where you can see that P&L go up and down. Close that part and be okay with every outcome. In the long run, we definitely will make money. Who has fancy chairs, if I may ask? I definitely said something, but I couldn't remember what I said. I'm sitting on a very normal chair. It's an old school one. Looks nice too. This used to be a fancy. Oh yeah, this used to be a fancy chair back in the days. Nobody wants this anymore. Yeah, I'm just trading for actually for freedom, and freedom is just spending time with my family. That's all. Look, I'm even studying right now. I'm reading this book. I think it's still fancy, thanks, man. Yeah, it's one of those old schools that's layered with it's I think still old school how you call it? Leather? Yeah. Correct, man. Nobody is doing woodwork like before. If you have some nice I saw actually a nice if you can find this in your country, this is actually something I want to have in my house. Um it used to be okay from price, but now it's just a little bit I find it too much expensive to actually put into my house anymore. It was on Etsy, I believe. Yeah. It was around 3K right now. And once I saw it the first time, it was around 3 to 400 euros. So I was okay by paying 400 or 500 euros for something like that. Was not okay by paying 2K for something on the wall. uh, tree decoration. Was very nicely done, by the way. This was like for a sitting area that they made out of a tree trunk. Let me see if I can find it somewhere. Yeah, this was it. was actually something like this. I want to hang on my wall. This one is actually okay to for the price actually. It's not that big. I want to actually have a huge one on the wall, but he asked like around 3K for it. So, but this actually looks very nice. It's like having something living in your house. Let's go back to that trade. Jono, I'm trading from Belgium. What? Yeah, that's my bird country. So what we do? We came in a void, like I said, we moved up, so now we should continue to move. Once we get above this high now, you could be okay to put your stop at break even. We should continue right here. We should not stall anymore. If we keep stalling, we will sweep the low, and I don't want to see that happen. And I'd rather just finish this trade immediately and put my stop right here to break even already. So gonna be a bit more patient. I want to see that the high get hit. If it does, I'll probably put my stop at break even because then it definitely needs to start moving because we've been here for a while now, sitting here chopping in. And still in that same trade, like I said, I added even, so I still believe this is very nice looking trade. But I do want to see it continue right here. So I just learned everybody how to add to a trade. If you didn't see it, go rewatch it. This is something I only normally teach in my bootcamp. I don't teach this on live online, especially not on YouTube, because people have to learn also how to do it, and it's just needed to do it slowly at the beginning, repeatedly. But first learn how to enter a trade and take your trading plan constantly over and over again until it gets so boring that you can do it without watching that P&L or anything else. I'm from Canada. Oh, nice. Welcome. Never been there. I hope it's a very nice. I've heard it's a very nice country. I've never been there, so. Oh, I hear my alarm go off. I'll go get it for a second. Yeah, I need to do my social media. Not fan of it, but still need to do it. I'm a marketeer. My wife is not going to be happy. Life in a trade again. Yesterday's trade ended up with a -1R that we collected. Today we will see what happens. Updating you as soon as possible, probably tomorrow morning, of course, once I'm starting a new life. Enjoy the rest of your day. Life in a trade again. Yesterday's trade ended up with a -1R that we collected. Today we will see what happens. Updating you as soon as possible, probably tomorrow morning, of course, once I'm starting a new life. Anymore. I used to trade it. Stick to one, Jono. Just one at this point. I don't need a second one to trade off. This is my journal, so I'm up 7.8R in a month. January was a very not good month for me. We did have a lot of R collected, but I did not take a lot of trades. Only took 7 trades this month. I'll even add days trade to it. I'm in a long, and we are the 17 today. Definitely not the fastest market again, but if we start dropping from here off, this is not going to look good. Because we are now just sitting in this little range box that we created, so we're actually making this. And we're still sitting inside, just the same what we had yesterday. So if we're ranging or for a long period of time, I'm not always the one that's most favored to stay in a trade. The reason why is if we have a good reaction of a certain level, most of the times we have a very impulsive move away from it, especially if you have a retest, we have an actionable movement. It's the same, if you have a retest, we have an actionable movement. We had a sideways movement for a long time. Sometimes the trade can just go against you again. That's why I prefer them to get out of that trade earlier than needed. But at this point, it still looks okay. So I'm just going to be a bit more patient. I believe also if we wanted to go down, that we would have swept it already. Yeah, we're chopping. Yeah, chopping, ranging. The market is deciding what it wants to do. So once it takes out this high, it will come to this valley gap up here, and I'm definitely gonna take the last contract, the contract that I added. I'm gonna take it off once we get to that high. That first partial will be taken right here, and I'll put my stop at the entry then, because we're just not moving, and this is something I don't prefer to be in. Not while I'm behind the charts. If I'm not behind the charts and I just close my book, I'm okay with it because I don't see it. Like, this happens to a lot of traders. So what do? They keep staring at that chart until that TP gets hit or that stop gets hit. But it's sometimes easier just to close your book and take a walk. It's much easier than sitting here behind it. So I got about 25, 30 minutes left in this stream for today. And then I have to get off. I got a sales call at 11, so I have to be a little bit prepared again. Still learning how to do it. It's not easy. I'm really not a salesperson, but I still have to learn it. So if anybody has some pointers, you're always welcome to help me. Yeah, I still believe too that we're gonna move up. We are still able to move up right now, but at this point, the market is undecided. So we had a shift down. So we had here the BOS to the downside. If we take this movement, we came to that 6-7 level and we got rejected off of it. We created a fair value gap on a 15-minute base, and this is why I wanted to take a long, because we swept it and we're still holding it. Because this fair value gap right here in between is holding right now. That means that it wants to go to that 7-8 level. And once we hit that 7-8 level, I am definitely going to take a partial because we are maximum going to come down to 24,848. Something like that, I believe you could take. And John, my reference of R collected is very particular. I prefer to have a bigger trade, yes. I prefer to have at least the 2.2 R collected per trade, but that does not always happen. I prefer London's sketch of the move, so we have a bigger potential to have a nice movement. If this trade keeps moving up, this could be a 2.7 R, so definitely a great trade to take. Yes, I am, Arjun. I'm very cheap also. It's $3.99 right now. And you can even pay in payments if you want to. And you want to have my mentorship, and you want to have me again, so like everybody else has. That takes about 3 hours a day of my time. 3 hours a day, not 3 hours in a week of my time for 12 weeks on the road. And I'll teach you everything that I know. That's 2K at this point. But everything still looks good at this point. All what we can do right now is just be patient. We're in a trade. We took that risk. We are currently, we follow the plan. So now the market has to decide for us, does my plan, if my idea of the market's decision, what we think is correctly, we should continue. If it's not, it would just continue downwards and fill up this gap. Yeah, smartest thing that you can do, just set your limits, take your profit, and that's it. I agree. This is the only way that you can be a good trader. Set your limits, close that book, and do something outside if you want to. Perfectly fine. Enjoy nature a bit, take a walk, and get your head out of that chart. If I was not trading live with all of you, I would not sit here. Again, I've told this so many times. I believe I'm a broken record by saying this. I keep saying that one over and over again. So we're an hour and a half in stream right now, and we had a nice sideways movement for an hour and 45 minutes. And this is London, so be okay with it if you trade London. It is slower than New York, yes. But that's also the good part about it, because you don't have to jump in a trade and get out of it immediately. But you have to be okay with it that you will be longer in a trade, and just be patient. I'm having patience with you also. If you do nothing except setting the limits, like Farmergen or Argent in the group said, just set your limits and be okay with it for the rest of the thing. Appreciate a thumbs up, everybody. Thank you. This helped the channel grow and find new traders. Oh, now this is the second time I got this. This one is happening. I got blocked from Etsy. Looks like I have supernatural power. I'm surfing above human natural speed. I have no idea how I've ever done this, but yeah. So here we should continue now. So anybody that had patience with me, congrats yourself. This still looks okay. We still have a 5 minute left. One more time right here. So we could re-enter that one more time. But I do prefer to see it continue right now. Otherwise, we're just chopping. And this is chopped or actually ranging because we're still inside this, again, I'll repeat it, 5 and 15 minute for value, actually a 15 minute for value gap right here that we never closed below. So we're still trading inside this one. Because this is that stop actually that should not get taken. I'll even extend this a bit so that you can see it. This was actually that stop. I never got taken. So, and all this time right here, we are still trading in this fair value gap. Nothing else changed. Your mindset could have changed maybe a bit, but nothing changed in this full trade, except of having patience. That's all. Am I break even? No, not yet. I will take a partial once we get to this high, and my stop and my entry will be the same. Or my take profit and my stop will be the same then, and I will just let the rest ride. If I did not have the chance even to add to this trade, that would have been the same. So I'm just gonna let this ride up and see how far we can take this. Give me a second. There's somebody at the door. So in the next 5 minutes, we will hit that target. So this will be my first take profit. And then on the rest, I will just let it run. I'll leave my stop at the lows. I'm not going to change anything. We could move it up to this wicks instead of Asia low. So you reduce what, 7 points, about 10 points. Even to this wick, you could reduce it, but anything further, you cannot place it at this point. because we did not make a new shift yet, so not much that we can do about that one. Are you still here, Doctor Who? Are you shorting Bitcoin right now? I'm still in a long. I've been in a long for a while. Look at this. Can I even? This is my entry actually, like 16th February. We're a month further. Look, this. If you have not easy to stay long in a trade, try trading crypto, man. This took me 28 days to start moving. I'm up 1 hour and a bit right now. Okay, I'm gonna take a partial right here. So 1 partial. I took it actually here. I was watching something else for once. Stops are. I moved a little bit up to this week's low actually. So moved stops up to this 15-minute candles wick. You can choose to put your stop at break even too if you want to. I'm not gonna change that one. I'm just moving my stop up to this level. I'll even set on the screen 24,739. That's my new stop. This takes another 10 points off. So it's up to you. If you put your stop to your entry, that's perfectly fine too. This is the last point that we could have a resisting of. Reason why is we had a changing character to the downside, and this is the full retest of that 7-8 level. So here is the last part of resisting that you can have. So it is gonna come flush straight through it, and then I can drag it up a little bit, or we're gonna have a stalling right here, and the market will return. A good work for anybody that held through everything, through the noise, through the not movement of anything. Good job. This is how you become a profitable trader. People want to see trading get so fancy and special, but there's nothing special about trading. The only thing it's not easy. It is easy actually if you can follow a plan. It's not easy if you get in your own way. So I got about 10 more minutes, and then I have to go. Everything's on the screen, so you can just put that limit order in for your last take profit if you want to. If you put your stop, look, we did not create any 5 minutes, so you could even put your stop under this one if you want to. So you're actually fully in profit no matter what the market does. If it comes fully back to that entry place, that's 24,778, you actually don't have any risk left in the market. So you should be good for everything then. Doesn't matter what the market does then. You don't even need to put your full TP here. You can even, if this market continues, and we see this movement further up, I can actually see it go to 24,947. That's another 60 points up. Because we have a small void right here that we never get tapped. And the major liquidity pool actually after this, these are equal highs. And then afterwards it's right here. So that would be 25,000. That round number would definitely be a good target to start taking a partial if you want to continue longing after where my TP is. But remember, you don't need a full move to have a good trade. Just be okay sometimes with taking a partial of the full movement of the day, because we are here every day or almost every day. If you did not take a partial, you want to close it here. This is a 2.7. Oh, wait. My stop loss ratio here. That's a 2R right here that you've created. $25,021. Let me see. Where do you get it from? 25,021. Yeah, my idea is this area actually. I would say 24,945. This area would be definitely a strong area for resisting, because we swept liquidity right here then from a high, and I want to see what does it do. But if you go to 25,020, yeah, there is not really a gap here, so let me zoom in a bit. We also got liquidity, so yeah, definitely a possibility that if we sweep this, that we continue to the high. But this looks more like something that New York session would do and not London session. I prefer this. I would see London session get to that high, go back down, continue, and then London and New York actually takes that session to that high. Okay, I got 5 more minutes. If anybody has a question, it's a good time to ask before I get off. Everything's on the screen, so take a screenshot if you need to. If you did not take a partial yet, take one at least here. I trade both, Jono. But that's okay. You don't need to leave that runner, Arjun. The main thing is that you constantly keep you to your plan. This is how you got to your first two payouts. So keep to that plan and stick to it over and over again. This is how you made it. This is how you will continue growing it. Do not go for the maximum in a trade. It's not worth it. Yeah, if I trade my personal capital, it's most of the time crypto. I do trade swings on stocks too, but most of it is gold, silver, and commodities. It's most of the time it's metals. It's not actually stocks. And if I trade personal capital, it's actually on Bybit, so that's cryptocurrencies that I trade. Otherwise, I trade on a profit. So you made 3R, dude. So definitely good trade. I'm happy for you. That's a decent trade, my friend. Never be greedy. Just be okay what the market gives you. Because if this fully comes back, you just gave away the profit that you made just because you wanted to squeeze out another half R or an R. It's not worth it. We do this 4 times a week or 3 times a week at least, and with 3 times a week, you can make a nice, decent profit. You don't need to be here every day. And I'm not trading every day. Look, if you want to see I traded the 2nd, the 3rd, the 10th, 11th, 16th, 17th. So I don't trade every day, and I'm still profitable. So you don't need to trade every day. Remember that. It's yes, but trading should not be fun. Trading should be boring. It's like an activity that you do in a normal job. Once you do it so many times over and over again, and once you're working for a boss, it starts to get boring after a while. Everybody has it. So this is how trading should feel also after a while. It should feel boring. Once it feels exciting again, you're doing something wrong or not correct. Sorry for the language. Need to speak positive. Okay, I do need to get off now. I got sales call in about 20 minutes, and I need to still send him an email, that person, that we have a call. Otherwise, he would not be able to join. So I wish you all a very great trading session in London. I'll see you all back tomorrow morning, and have a nice one. Enjoy.